In October 2012, developers A-Flights released their Mega Airport Helsinki package, published under Aerosoft. At the time of release, this was their first mainstream scenery for FSX and P3D. In mid-July, I went on a week-long holiday to Finland, flying into Helsinki-Vantaa before taking a train into the city and onwards onto Lappenranta. Losing my passport days before flying, however, meant that I was stuck in the city and the airport for a few extra days before making my way back to the UK. In light of my recent trip to Finland, I thought that now would be a perfect opportunity to review this airport, comparing it to the real world and seeing how true to life Mega Airport Helsinki is. Mega Airport Helsinki includes the Helsinki-Vantaa Airport and some of the bordering buildings. Constructed and opening in 1952, it was made for the Summer Olympics in that year in order to lessen the traffic flying to Helsinki-Malmi Airport, which was struggling to cope with the sudden increase of traffic. The airport itself is situated in the town of Vantaa, which is 10 miles north of Helsinki city centre and only 3 miles west of Tikkurila. It was built on the Muotisuo, a large flat boggy marshlands that once stretched out for miles north from the capital before being developed on. Installing the Mega Airport Helsinki scenery was simple, as with any other Aerosoft install. Once you have downloaded the installer, run the program and select your chosen simulator. You then input your activation key, and the installer does the rest. When running the simulator, do also check if the scenery activates in your scenery library, as on some occasions this will not happen automatically. Once the airport is added, you are ready to go. You get 3 documents with this add-on: a 16-page manual in German and English explaining the add-on and features it includes, as well as a 51-page colour charts book showing all of the approaches and departures from Vantaa in dates to when the scenery was released. You also get a tweaking tool that lets you adjust the scenery depending on what visuals you want to see within the airport and surrounding areas, as well as modify the texture resolutions depending on your system. The tweakings tool also lets you toggle between winter and summer trees and snowbanks, meaning that this does not appear to be automated, which is a shame, but only fair for the time that this add-on was released. The scenery at Helsinki Airport is absolutely beautiful. The terminal and hangar buildings are very well done, and topped off with 4K textures bringing them to life. There are 2 terminals at Helsinki-Vantaa, Terminal 1 which is used for majority domestic and some smaller Scandic routes, while most will go through the international Terminal 2. Both have been very well recreated by A-Flight, and do look very good when compared to their real-world counterparts. Textures are also in 4K resolution, and weathered to give the airport a sense of age when up close to the buildings. Best of all, the terminal interior is also visible. The exterior windows are semi-transparent, which lets you look inside of the departure lounge at the airport. This can be a risky move that not many developers do, due to how hard this can be to optimise as well as look good, but in this case it's been very well done and does give you a very good sense of depth when parked. Each stand also has a visual docking guidance system, or VDGS, modelled into them, each being functional as well. This works really well in guiding your aircraft to the gate and stopping on the centre line in the correct position. Something that I think we also need to mention are the jet bridges. They look phenomenal. The level of detailing on the bridges, including the structures that hold them up, are very high in quality and look almost real. It's something I've never seen a developer focus so much on, despite in real life being something that directly interacts with the aircraft, making them well worth a look. If you own Aerosoft's Airport Enhancement Services add-on too, remember that, these jetways are also functional within FSX at no additional cost. But there is the odd hiccup, where some of the staircases at these jet bridges do lead up to a random wall, obviously something that has been missed. Whoops! The airport layout matches that of the real-world Vantaa Airport in 2012 when the scenery first released, and continued to do so until 2015 when major work started on a new terminal for the airport and the iconic Finnair Arches hangar was sold to Finavia for demolishing. Textures for the taxiways and runways are also very highly detailed, and weathers give you an older feel to them. Much of this airport was built in the 1970s, with a much further runway extension made in the early 2000s. The ground surrounding the terminal has also been detailed with ground services vehicles placed around each stand, along with liquid spills and wet patches on the ground. This all combines to give you a very high quality ground environment to taxi and move in. Ground markings are also very accurate and positioned in their real-world locations. These include runway markers, taxiway designations, and holding points in various locations. Airport service roads also snake their way around the airport, including a few roads into Motitsuo and leading into the cargo terminal. While these weren't added to the main airport layout, they do appear in the satellite imagery that surrounds the airport, and which, being the high quality it is, lets them fit in with the ground scenery while still looking in place. Night lighting in the scenery has also been very well recreated in the simulator. The different lighting types you see on approach as well as on the ground give you a good overall feeling of what nightlife is like at the airport, and compared to the real thing, I have no complaints. One thing I do like about this is also that A-Flight don't overdo the lights. While most scenery developers will go for massive bright lights all packed close together, A-Flight instead have used normal sized lighting at realistic intervals. All taxiway signs are illuminated, and the terminal buildings do look fantastic from afar. Lighting colours and variations are also accurate. Light green lights mark the taxiways, blue lights mark the taxiway edges, and white lights mark the runway area, with dark green lighting where the runway starts and ends. When on final at night, thanks to the very dark surroundings of the airport, spotting Vanta is also an easy feat, meaning you won't ever have any issues in getting your aircraft down at night. The marshland of Motitsuo sits in the very middle of the airport and is generally left untouched. While monitored and kept by the airport from disrupting the services, the bog is still very much evident in the space between runway 04 left 22 right and 04 right 22 left, where the land is still green and overgrown. This has also been 3D modelled by A-Flight to match the real-world scenery, which does add to the level of detail that this area does give you. While we do normally have flat runways and taxiways, a pitfall of FSX and P3D, the land that surrounds this is complex and does look really good, giving the airport a new level of depth which you won't normally see in the simulator. To save on frames, the further out you go off from the airport, the fewer polygons that appear on the buildings and objects. The delivery trucks near the cargo terminal suffer the most from this, big blocks that sit on slightly smaller blocks. From a distance, however, this doesn't look bad at all, which most of the time will be a couple hundred feet in the air after departure, if you even noticed them at all. A satellite image has also been placed into the ground of Vanta Airport, and this is a really high quality image, which brings together what is already a fantastic product. The level of quality of the satellite image does go right down into the patterns in the grass and the swamp area, giving you a very good idea of what the airport looks like from the sky. Other than the immediate area surrounding the airport and maybe a few forests in the north and southwest, you don't get much else away from Vanta or Intikurila itself. Southern Finland has 4 very much defined seasons, all of which have been recreated in this add-on. Being Finland, we definitely have to cover winter first. Snow textures have been created and placed all around the airport, including the 3D marshland and airport roof. Unfortunately though, not everything has been given a winter texture, and this really is a drawback for a very good scenery. What good is a finished winter when not everything has been covered in snow? Fortunately, however, this only affects a small number of buildings and is not really noticeable when up close. Trees also do suffer from this texture issue too, but this can be changed thanks to the built-in tweaking tool that this add-on comes with. Summer and all the other seasons, on the other hand, have been very well made. Bright and vibrant, it really does bring to life what Finland is like in the short summer it has. This is very much seen in Motitsuo again, where the land changes the most from season to season. In winter it's pure white with lumps of snow on top, and in summer it's green and full of life. Overall, it has been a pleasure to fly in and out of Mega Airport Helsinki. The scenery itself looks fab, and if you can get past those winter textures, Airflight has done a really solid job in recreating Helsinki Vanta. If you can't however get past those winter textures, then that is unfortunately a slight letdown in what is already a fantastic product. Winter in Finland is like Marmite on toast. Whether or not you like it, they do go hand in hand. Using the tweaker tool does subdue some of the issues, but it's not quite there yet. Having flown to Vanta only a month ago during the summer, I can look at the scenery and confidently say that everything you see is very well recreated to give you a very realistic feel of the airport. I must also mention that despite the high levels of detailing in each part, the scenery does not kill your frame rates, showing how well optimised the scenery really is. A good balance between detailing and optimisation is always really appreciated, especially on the FSX platform, which A-Flight has excelled in. Now, if anyone spots a British passport with an e-hex slips inside, please do let me know.